And hello, everyone. I think that Dan has put out there that the goal for tonight is for me to talk a little bit about movement and give you ideas of things that you might want to work towards. So it's going to start out at kind of a beginner level, and it's going to move up quite quickly to an intermediate level. And I hope that you all enjoy this. I'm hoping that you'll be able to come back to this video and watch it again and have ideas. If you miss something or if you want to work on something, you can come back and hopefully glean something, glean that, work on the movements that you want to add to your vocabulary. And we're going to talk about the planes that we flag. So when we're right in front of us and we're throwing the flag either over or under, you'll notice that the flat part of the flag, the plane of the flag, is on the sides of our bodies, right? So the sides, as opposed to what might be, some people call a pinwheel, helicopters, I think that's what they call them in Sydney, I'm not sure. This, if you were to walk straight up to a wall, you would find that it's flat with the wall that you walk up to. And so this is a wall plane as opposed to a side plane move. So the first thing that I teach flaggers when they get to a certain point is knowing the vocabulary of both a right hand and a left hand lead, whether that's an underhand throw or an overhand throw. Is anybody having questions? Do you understand what that concept was that we just talked through? And when you're doing this and your hands start leading, you can have a right hand lead or a left hand lead. That's with underhand and overhand. With a right hand lead, your right hand literally is on top. When you're doing an overhand throw, the right hand, or the one that's on top, that's crossing over, is the lead. So with a left hand lead, you want to start with your left hand making that turn towards your right side first. So from behind, your left hand will go over and your right hand will follow. So it'll look something like that. So the first thing that I wanted to talk about is simply your right hand as opposed to your left hand leads. So if everybody has their set of flags, can everybody do both a right hand and left hand lead? So a right hand lead is with the right hand going first, the left hand is following, as opposed to a left hand, the left hand going first, the right hand is following. So this is with an overhand. There you go. So what I'd like you to do is start with your flag right next to your body, and I want you to come forward and let the flag go behind your body. So this is an underhand throw. So again, put your hand by your waist, and you're going to go forward up, your hand back around, and then forward around to the other side of the body. So the flag should be coming up towards your face. So that's the basic thing. If you don't have both those, I sometimes refer to them as your dominant and non-dominant. So a lot of people are right hand dominant with an overhand throw, but everybody's different. Everybody learned a different way, and it clicks with certain people. I would say there are some people that have a left hand lead and some people have a right hand lead, and neither one of them is wrong. You want to know both. And I will always have a dominant throw and a non-dominant throw. In other words, when I start going this overhand, my right hand is going to 98% of the time start leading, but I can move it into my left hand. And you want to know both for something else we're going to talk about in just a second. So now, does everybody know the pinwheel? So when the right hand leads, it literally means it's in front of the left. So if I'm flagging with the right hand, I start with my hands to the left, I go down and then back behind. So my right hand leading, I'll show what that looks like. Both my hands are to the left. They go down in front and then behind. So if I'm showing somebody how to lead with a left-hand lead, it's just the opposite. My hands will be on the right-hand side and they will be going towards my left because my left hand has to lead. So when you're doing this movement, the left hand is leading and you're going from right to left. So you start with the hands to the right, you come down in front and then behind.
Xavier, we have a question from Troy Arnold, and his question is pinwheel overhand or underhand?
So pinwheel is not on the same plane. We're now on a wall plane, and you really can't talk about an overhand or an underhand because it's up by the body. It doesn't make sense. You're going from side to side. You're not going forward and back. So this movement identifies more with an underhand throw. So if you have a right hand lead dominant underhand throw, you're probably going to be a right hand lead dominant with a pinwheel. But it's not the exact same motion and it's in a different plane. Did that answer your question, Troy?
Yes.
Thank you. So my first goal for all of you that have been watching, if you cannot do the overhand or underhand, right hand lead, left hand lead, or pinwheel with a right hand lead or a left hand lead, there's something that you can work on. Any questions? I've got more. So now we're going to get into the fun part and the reason why it's really important to know all of that stuff. So when I flag, one of my favorite things to do is turn my body within the flags. I'll demonstrate this real quick. So right now I'm facing you. My flags are going up. We'll say the flags are going up on this side of the room and they're going down over here, right? So you see the flags are going up. So the flags continue to throw in the same motion, the same circular motion. They're going the same way. The flags are still going up on the same part of the room and down on the other, but my body is moving within them. So if I go faster, it looks like this. Does everybody see that? Does anybody not see that, more importantly? So one of the things that I've figured out about turning around is I first started doing it down on the side plane movement, right? So if I'm flagging up, I'm going to follow the flag that's leading. So right now I only have one flag in my hand, and this is how I would suggest people that have not done this yet start. And you want to turn with the flag. So the flag is coming around, I'm going to turn, and then now start swinging in the same, well, the flag is going in the same direction. On one side it's down and on the other side it's up. So right now I'm going down. So if I'm going to turn to the right or turn to the left, I want to follow the flag. So if I'm turning to the left, I would turn there. Does everybody see that? I wouldn't try turning to the right when the flag is going the other way, or turning to the left if the flag is going. You're going to follow the flag. So if I'm doing this and now I want to turn to my right, I'll follow the flag when it goes that direction. That's pretty simple. The reason that you need to know both the right and left hand is if you're cycling and you want to turn to the right and your right hand is leading, it's easier when you're doing this overhand throw or the underhand throw to have your lead hand go the opposite direction. So if I'm turning left, my right wants to lead that. If I'm going to turn turn right, my left hand wants to lead that. So watch, I know this is confusing. My left hand is leading and I can easily turn to the left with my left hand guiding the way. I'm not saying you can't turn with the right hand, but it's just less, it's a little bit more awkward. So you need to switch leads. If you're a right hand flagger, you need to switch to a left hand lead and then follow the flag around. So this is something that I kind of got, I kind of got into a while back. Switching leads is something, if you've mastered the right hand lead and you've mastered the left hand lead, something that you will fall into. I'm just going to give a quick demonstration of it. If I'm doing an underhand throw, the lead hand is on the bottom on an underhand throw. It's an underhand as opposed to an overhand, underhand. So when the lead hand gets to the other side of the body, it needs to make an extra spin to let the left hand or the opposite hand lead. When the opposite hand gets to the other side of the body, it does an extra spin, and then the right hand takes the lead. So I'll show this to you from behind. Right hand leading. When it gets to the left side, it does an extra spin, and then the left hand takes the lead. The left hand now goes to the opposite side and does an extra spin, and the right hand takes the lead. I'm running through this. Hopefully you'll be able to come back and watch this. Same thing with an overhand. Right hand leading on the opposite side of the body. You do an extra spin and let the left hand take the lead. And it looks like this. So this is sometimes referred to as a 3-beat weave. I'm switching leads. Right now, my left hand is leading. Now my right hand is coming, doing that extra spin, and my right hand is leading. Extra spin, my left hand is leading. Okay. Last thing I'll say, and then I promise I'll stop. So the way that I'd have you do this down here is the same way I'd have you do it up here. If you are a right hand dominant lead on your pinwheel, I would suggest you start with a left hand dominant spin. So you're going from right to left, and you want to turn when your flags come up, turn the body, keep the flags going the same way. But so if you're a right hand lead, you want to start with that left hand, which flags on your right side going to the left. You start with your left hand, and then you turn around and you be into a right hand lead. It's going to be a lot easier going from your non-dominant lead. So if your normal flagging is with a right hand lead in that pinwheel motion, your non-dominant hand would be your left hand, because that's going to feel awkward for you. That's why I would call that non-dominant. And you then go into your dominant lead, and that one you should know, like as if you're sleeping, it should be there already. And you'll work back and forth to be able to do more, to spin, be the spinning person within the spinning flags. So the sooner you start practicing these different moves. So for those of you who have only been flagging for a few months, you're going to be lucky. I didn't realize that there was an opposite hand lead until I'd been flagging for a year. And talk about rock my world. It took me another year just to learn the opposite hand lead. And then another year to figure out I could switch between them. So it's a slow going. So if you start when you first, if you start knowing I need to do a right hand lead, I need to do a left hand lead, I need to go up, cycle underhand, I need to cycle overhand. There's such a thing as a left hand lead for a pinwheel. Mind blowing. And you'll be able to do that with a little bit more ease than some of us old dogs that have been set in our ways, because we didn't know that there was a different vocabulary. I've been doing the chasing move. That chasing is where one hand is chasing the other. You have so the Spanish dancer is what I call alternating. So you can do this particular movement. The opposite of this particular movement is something that you need to work on. So just as if you were going to do a right hand lead, you need to know the left hand lead. The Spanish dancer is this. The opposite of a Spanish dancer looks like this. So if you get to the opposite of the Spanish dancer, then you should be able to turn and go into the Spanish dancer and back and forth. And that's true with what we call flipping cards. The opposite of that is this. So if you can get to the opposite of that, then you can turn around into it. So always work from your weakest point and go into what you know, and then back and forth. So that's your way to do that. So I'm not going to go too far into that because we're out of time, but I thank you for the question, and I'm glad we got that on tape. And I hope that all of you will be able to use this in the future. And I thank you for all of your time. Thank you, everyone. And thank you again, Dan and Michael, for this.